Elijah, and the situation, the bold guy, and the bunch of children taking the mickey, and suddenly the bear or she bear turn up to tear them apart. What do you think of this? I mean, this is laughable. What do you think of it?
But again, it's like, so the job of the Christian, you've got to feel sorry sometimes for theists, because their job is to maintain their holy book and their God on this pedestal up here. So the job of theology is to create a framework such that God is maintained up here at all costs, all rational costs, and at all times, right? So here you have this story, which is obviously just is fulfilling other functions, right? And it's not interested in making God look all loving and blah blah blah. This is telling you other things, right? And you have this story, and then 2,000 years later, where we have this belief that God is all loving, all knowing, and all powerful. And it's that abstraction that has to marry up still with this holy book down here. You're like, and a holy book has 42 children being ripped to death by a she-bear for calling someone bald. And you're like, oh, goodness, right. How do we explain this? And of course, for us, it's just a laughable story that's just, well, it's not laughable. It's a pretty horrible story, but it's just like, we don't need to do anything other than say, yeah, it's a mythological, untrue story.
So some of the funniest apologies I've heard about this story is it doesn't actually tell you clearly that the she bear turning up to kill the children has actually to do as a punishment, like she wasn't sent by God. It just coincidentally happened after it.
Thrown it in the story, just like these. Oh, I was going to tell you a story that's going to end up in a canonized book of like Revelations forevermore. It's going to be these kids. They took the mickey out this guy, and then randomly a bear came up and ate all of them. I don't know what that tells you. Just either it tells you that God could have stopped that but didn't, and just let 42 kids die. Either way you paint it is.
Do you suspect that this particular verse or chapter was written by somebody who's bold?
Yeah. This is like there's some projection going on here. It's like, if I'm going to do anything, I'm going to write into this holy book.
Don't you dare!
That is protecting bald people. Like it's like I wrote it. Don't do it. Ginger bald people, who are once ginger and now bald, they are protected forever. Like you'll get eaten by she-bears. Don't do it. Yeah,
that's brilliant.
So I think it's a thankless task going back through the Bible and trying to jive the whole book with our modern sensibilities. Slavery. As I said to you last time, it loses on slavery. You can dump the book there. I mean, I'm that harsh about the Bible these days that I'm like, it obviously fails about slavery. And not only that, it's used for 1,900, last 2,000 years to justify slavery. And God knew that would happen and still sanctioned that as his holy book. And if he does that, he's morally abhorrent. I'm sorry, there's not good enough. That book's not good for me. It's not good for everyone. Ditch it. And yet people still believe. Oh, I can't hear you. You're muted.
Sorry. I mean, this argument to me is blatantly obvious. It doesn't need dwelling on. It's very obvious. There are so many areas where God has sort of chosen certain for children or for humans to be dispensed off as if they're nothing. And I mean, there are too many to count. So it's yeah.